Hey, it's Elizabeth Eleanor here, and this is my day 6 of 365 days of spiritual awakening. I am an intuitive empath who has been on a crazy journey for like 27 years now. And I've been challenged to come on here and share for 365 days my story, because I've had everything from 3 shooting stars when I was waking up spiritually, all the way through to healing myself of a 15-centimeter fibroid, breezing through a 4.5-centimeter brain tumor that happened as well, meeting the love of my life in a fairy tale experience. My maiden name was Payne, Payne, and his last name is Makepeace. You name it, multiple 6-figure business, you name it, I've been able to create it, and I've been on this amazing journey. And my whole thing is that we all have the opportunity and the ability to create all of this magic all the time when we get out of our limitation, when we clear the old patterns from our childhood, but also generational history, right? We have genetic material stuck or connected to our DNA, like records of past history from our lineage, right? From our bloodline. And I don't know who you are in the world, but I can guarantee you've had someone in your lineage that has been through heartache, pain, suffering, trauma of some sort, burnout, wars, famines, blah, blah, blah. And all of that gets coded into our DNA, and science has been able to recognize this. They call it epigenetics, right? Where they're looking at, it's not just physical things that we hold on to, like, cancers and things like that, that become generational, but also trauma. We can hold on to those within our DNA as well. So day 6, did I say? I think it's day 6. Day 6. And I just wanted to share a little bit more about past life. I've got a long time. 365 days is a long bloody time. And if you're on the journey with me the whole way through, then, you'll get to see some of the stuff. And I'm sure that there'll be a point where I'll be up to present moment. But I just wanted to spend again some more time on the 7 years that I spent doing past life regression. You can go back and listen to the last couple where I've shared a few things, and I even do a reading from the book that I'm in. It was never published, but it was very much a life journey of my mentor, Rhonda, who has now passed away. And a lot of people would say, oh, that's a failure to be in a little group like that. That some would say it was a cult, and I suppose some, to a certain degree, I would say as well. But then you want to define what is a cult. Look it up in the dictionary and you'll discover that we're all in a cult at some stage or another in our life. And then we've got the big collective consciousness that's called the government, right? And then the world order. Cult's a very interesting concept, and the way we define it and we label it as something. But I really wanted to share some of the past life stuff. Oh, I'm supposed to be saying, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications for when I'm going to be loading these up, right? Did my thing. So I wanted to share a little bit about the past life experiences, and I'm going to, break this up. I've been on, I could say I've been on a UFO, not physically, but the things that have happened to me in past lives were quite extraordinary. And I'm actually going through the book and looking at some of them again, because I haven't been on the journey, reading it. It was the very start of my journey. So this is like 20 years ago, right? And I'm going back and I'm looking at some of them, because right now in time and space, collective consciousness is elevating and ascending to new heights. And we have the opportunity as a collective to move into 5th dimension, right? We are all in this physical realm of third dimension where we're in this duality of us and them, left and right, hot and cold, good and bad, all these things, right? When you move out of that and go from fourth into fifth dimension is where we're in unity consciousness, and we recognize that you and I are the same, and that we're actually on a journey together as the one consciousness that created this whole thing, and this genius system that we're in, that is not just on the earth, that there is multitudes and thousands of planets and thousands of other civilizations out there in the cosmos, and we've been conditioned to believe that it's only in the movies. But I'm telling you, depending on when you watched this and what you're watching right now, I'm telling you, this disclosure is going to come out shortly, if not years, months. I definitely know it's not going to be a decade, right? And so that might be a bit hard for you to hear. And I want you just to sit and listen and feel into that while you're listening to me, and just consider the judgments that you might have of me even saying that, the judgment, the fear that might be coming up, all the things, because we have been conditioned to believe that we are unsafe in the world, let alone in the cosmos. And it's actually not true. And why I'm here, as with many other spiritual entities and beings on the planet and off, we're here to support more and more souls to wake up and recognize this collective opportunity for ascension, right? And to recognize your self-sovereignty, your ability to create your own world, that you are already doing, but you may be doing unconsciously because you've been conditioned to be powerless. And it's nobody's fault. It's the way the system works, and it's part of the matrix, and it's all good. It's just the way it is, right? So when I started doing past life regression, the whole process of it, in my understanding and the way I worked it out in my head, is that our soul is here to become the light, to really recognize ourselves as the creator. We are a fragmented aspect of the whole. We are the holographic experience. We have all of the codes available to us to create whatever we want. However, we need to access them because they're part of our soul or our higher self, or what I call the superconscious. And so it's almost like it feels like it's outside of us, because we have been conditioned from an unconscious point of view. Neural pathways have been wired together to only live in conscious, which is the day-to-day, the part of us that wants to change and, creates an identity of, growing and expanding and all the things, and wants to live, a life full of love and joy and happiness and all those things. So wants to change. But then we've also got our unconscious that doesn't want to change, because its whole job is almost robotic. It developed in the last quarter of the gestation of being in the womb, and 0 to 3 specifically, but up to 7 and beyond. But definitely 0 to 3, we're in a brainwave frequency that's very different to the one we're in now, right? And it is almost, well, it's the same brainwave frequency as an hypnotherapist puts you in, to be suggestive and to change your brainwave patterns or your neural pathways, right? And so through that process in 0 to 3, there is no judgments, discernment. There's no filter. You hear people saying, we are like little sponges, little kids are like little sponges. And that is absolutely true, because what we're doing is we're learning from our environment. We're learning from what's around us and absorbing how to be on the planet to survive, right? That reptilian brain is always in survival mode. So we're learning how to smile, how to use these muscles. We're learning how to walk. We're learning how to eat. We're learning, if I cry this way, I get my nappy changed. If I cry this way, I need to burp. If I cry this way, maybe I get neglected, right? So you learn what works and what doesn't work, right? I learned how to speak English, and so my mouth uses its muscles a certain way, and my tongue works a certain way because I grew up around English. Now, if you were born in another country and have a different language, your mouth and your tongue work in a different way because you've absorbed that information, right? So as we're growing up, one of the things I say to my clients, in a house full of thieves, is the child that won't steal that gets into trouble. We learn from the culture and our home environment of how to behave. Another little story I share with my clients is, you're walking, you just started walking, a little toddler or whatever, and you find this thing on the floor and everyone calls it a fork, and you think, oh, I wonder if it'll go in that hole in the wall, right? And so you go over and you go to stick it in this hole in the wall to see. So you're curious, you're adventurous, you're innocent, you're just playing, you're just enjoying life, and you're just exploring. And someone comes along and smacks you on the hand or grabs you really fast and, freaks you out because now you're plummeting through the air, and you don't know that it's, from the bottom of the floor down, only 6 feet up or whatever. And you freak out and they're yelling at you and saying you're being naughty or don't do that or whatever it might be, not explaining that they actually were just about to, they've just saved your life. You were actually just about to be in danger. You don't understand any of that. All of a sudden, you're just in trouble, and you've been in trouble before. And so now you're learning, if I do this, then I'm not good enough, right? You start defining things, and these are what the neural pathways start bringing together. These neural pathways wire together. When this happens, I have this feeling, and so therefore this is what the meaning is, and the meaning is I'm not good enough, I'm not perfect, I'm unworthy, whatever it might be. And so we start wiring our neural pathways together. And unless you do lots of work on yourself, those neural pathways wire together forever. And then you've got a 50-year-old that's still not feeling good enough and can't work out why their business is not running, or they haven't been able to fall in love, or, fall pregnant, or, get that promotion at work, or whatever it is, because there's this underlying silent instruction that's stopping them from achieving something that's unknown, because the body is trying to keep them safe. The unconscious is trying to keep you safe, right? So the same with, I do a process now called recoding, which is really fast and easy, and it clears those limitations, those old patterns of not good enough and not worthy and all those things from the source of where they came from. Very quick, fast and easy. But when I was back then, I was doing the 7 years of past life regression, and that's really what we were doing, but it was a lot slower than what we've got the opportunity and the ability to do now in consciousness and where we're at in consciousness now. Back then, people were doing rebirthing and, Reiki and sound healing and all of these things that were, and past life regression. There was a lot of that, and it took a lot longer to be able to clear what now happens really fast. So I would be able to clear, 2 or 3 lives within one session. Now you go to the source of what it is and you can clear it that way as well, right? Or a lot faster. So you can get 20 lives in one hit, right? But what was happening was coming into finding a life where you didn't feel good enough or worthy, or you made some mistake and you died, or someone died and, it caused pain and suffering in you or whatever it is. And you are now correcting that experience from a new platform, from a new life, right? And so being able to pull these layers off was how I was able to start developing from a shy, young, I'm scared of living. I don't know why I'm on this planet. I don't understand this planet. No one's taught me how to live on this planet. I had two major dysfunctional beliefs that really were wired in. One of them was I don't belong. And I can share that story afterwards. And the other one, of course, I feel like all of them stem from I'm not good enough, right? But the other one was I'm not capable. I grew up in a family where I was 6 years younger than my brothers. I don't even remember one of my brothers living in our house. The other one, stayed for a long time. My dad was sick on a kidney machine. I don't remember him ever being healthy. And I think I was told I was about 2 or 3 when he got sick. My mum had a baby before me, and his name was Bradley, and he died. And so back then there was no healing, no, here's your baby, spend some time grieving. Back then they whisked the baby out. No one actually, like mum never got to see Bradley at all. And the healing was go and have another kid. And that was me, right? And so mum was on psych ward medication and in a psych ward while she was pregnant with me. She tells the story of how she was going to jump while she was pregnant with me, and they pulled her back in to have a medication, and she went because she was so zoned out. I grew up with mum telling me, I didn't see this, you didn't see this, you didn't see that, this is what you saw, this is what you've got to do, this is, like, you won't treat me like the boys, will you, and blah, 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 blah. She was just doing the best she could. I've done a lot of healing around my mother wounds. I can see that she was also a broken woman that had no understanding. To tell you the truth, I do feel that mum may even, like, I do think she has a mental health issue, that, an undiagnosed mental health issue. And just like everybody else, we came through a lot of broken, wounded people. And so here I was not feeling capable, and it was wired in not to feel capable and to feel completely like I didn't belong, right? Because I was a girl, 6 years younger than everybody else. Brother had died, and here I was, like, so I felt the guilt and the shame of him dying, and that I lived, all these things, right? And so those parts of ourselves, it takes a long time to release them, or it can be. And so when I did past life regression, I went from being shy, innocent, completely didn't believe in myself, completely incapable of making a decision even. Oh my gosh, that was really challenging. So all of those things, and as I spent those 7 years of regression, all of those things really started layering and clearing, and those frequencies shifting so that I could correct my soul to be on the path that it is now, to hold those things and see them as disinformation, information that was no longer serving me and hadn't served me from lifetime to lifetime. And so being able to take that information, clear it, release it, shift the vibration in it, and bring my soul more in alignment with my journey and my path. And that's what we're all here for. Doing past life regression or recoding or whatever modality, rocks your boat or you're drawn to, because your soul will draw you towards something that works for you or that will work for you. You've just got to follow the threads. And I'll tell you about my follow the white rabbit in another session. when you can listen to the guidance your soul is sharing with you, then you will be able to clear those things so that your soul can do exactly what it wants to do this time, the experiences it wants to have, the journey it's on, the destiny that it's actually foretold. It's within its ability and potential to experience this time around. So that's me. It's going to be a short one for today. I've got lots going on. And if you're feeling drawn, if something's rumbling for you, if you feel like there's stuff that you need to clear and you want to really step into the path that your soul is here to choose to experience, then comment below. I'm pretty sure I've got a link to my website and all the things in the bottom. There's ways of getting in contact with me. If you feel like I resonate with you, you resonate with me, and you want to just explore the experience, then just jump in and grab one of those links. Maybe even check out one of my monthly mixes or my Facebook group. Go in and get your feet wet a little bit first to see if this information is something that your soul is pulling you towards. And when you're ready, you can jump on a call and we can see if what we can do to shift that energy so that you are not overwhelmed with what's going on in your life, and you're able to clear the stuff that's limiting you so that you can step into your full potential. Yeah, take care.